look, so today's video is going to be my review for the Venus 2 palette. This is the palette that I've used for the last 5 looks. Basically, I am going through the palettes in my collection. I'm doing one palette a week where I use the palette for 5 straight days for 5 different looks. And then at the end of the week, I do my review to kind of tell you my pros and cons. Do I think it's worth it? Do I like it? That kind of thing. So yeah, so this past week has been the Venus 2 palette. This is from Limecrime. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the palette itself. Okay, so right now, this is still on the Limecrime website. I have it up here. It retails for $34 for 8 eyeshadows, so that equals out to $4.25 per eyeshadow, which really isn't bad when you think about it. That's pretty reasonable per eyeshadow. I believe a couple other palettes that I have, it equals out to around the same. That's actually not a bad price, $4.25 per eyeshadow. Now, Limecrime does have a bundle where you can get the Venus 2 palette as well as the original Venus palette, both of them for $53, which is definitely worth it because both of these are good. I have yet to review this one, but it is in the works, so if you're looking for that, I do have it planned soon enough. But it was requested that I do the Venus 2 palette first, I think because a lot of colors in this palette are really weird and it's definitely very, very different. So I'm going to get into that. So first thing I want to talk about is the packaging. Now, the packaging for these, to me, honestly, are a freaking dream. These are the most beautiful palettes that I personally own. The only other palette that I really find this pretty in my collection is like the Urban Decay Moon Dust, but I mean, even that's pretty simple. These ones are definitely the most artistically beautiful palettes that I've seen, and even when I'm not using these ones stay out on my vanity, and I have a shit ton of stuff on my vanity, but these stay out. The second one is a little bit more grungy, done in silver. It says Limecrime on the edge and then Venus 2 on the back. And opening the palette up, you do have a mirror. It is in sort of that cardboard packaging, but it's really nice. It closes, so it does close with a magnet, so it does keep it fairly secure. So then you open it up and it has 8 eyeshadows. Now, when I first got this palette, when I first looked at the colors for this palette, I went, okay, that is the weirdest palette like I've ever seen. The only colors that I thought really went well together were the orange, the yellow, and the burgundy, and then the rest of them I kind of went, that's really weird. Let me just tell you, this is one of the reasons why this palette is one of my favorite, is because it is so weird. Pigeon is this like really cool sort of blue-brown color. Fly here is this iridescent highlight with like a green sheen. The mattes in here perform crazy well. I love the orange. Mud is this beautiful dark color. They all are crazy pigmented and very, very easy to work with. So they all have really amazing pigmentation and they blend really, really well. The only shadow that I have a little bit of issue blending is Boot, but I mean that's pretty much only because it is a black eyeshadow, which even still, I used it today, and once you blend it with the other mattes, they all blend really, really well together. So one thing that I love about this is that there's no issues with trying to blend one shadow with another, which can happen sometimes. Take, for example, the Kat Von D Metal Matte that I reviewed last week. I found that the metallic shades in the mattes didn't really blend too well together, but these ones blend awesome. So I think this palette is definitely for someone who's a little bit more creative and wants more of a grungy palette. I feel like both Venus 1 and Venus 2 were kind of designed to be sort of your not typical eyeshadow palette. I know this palette first came out and it was kind of like the only palette that had those colors in it. Don't lie, you thought the same thing too, because no one else was coming out with these colors back when this palette was first released. Now we have like 800 palettes that look like this. At least in my opinion, from what I can remember at the time, that like this was the OG like warm red palette. So, you know, that mixed with like this one coming out, which is definitely more grungy and weird. Overall, I think like the two of them combined is perfect. This one just on its own, I think for $34, totally worth it. I actually like this palette so much that I do have a backup of it, kind of accidentally, but yeah, I have a backup of it because I like it so much and I think it's stunning. I think it's beautiful. Hopefully you guys liked my last 5 videos because in those you really got to see that you are able to use these weird shades like this blue, also like this green, this kind of color. They look really weird, but they all work surprisingly well together and they're able to be paired with other shades in the palette. I didn't have to bring in any other additional eyeshadows all throughout this week, and I got 5 completely different looks out of it. So keep that in mind. So it's definitely an interesting palette. I reached for it for a couple of like select looks, but now that I've used it for the past 5 days, I think I'm actually going to be using it more because I realized that I can get even more out of it than what I originally thought that I was going to get out of it, which is kind of the point of the series. It actually surprised me as well when I was using it because I got to come up with some really interesting pairings as well. Do I like this palette? Fuck yeah, I do. Do I recommend it? Hell yeah. You're not gonna get an everyday wearable, like neutral go to work look out of this, but if you want something a little bit more different that sort of challenges your creativity and also something a little bit more grungy and kind of gross and weird, then this is the palette for you. I highly recommend it. I love this palette. It's one of my top favorites. So yeah, that is my review of the Limecrime Venus 2. Do leave me any comments down below of how you feel about this palette. Do you own it? Do you like it? Will you be getting it? That kind of thing. As always, I love reading comments and responding to them when I'm bored, so leave me whatever you want in the comments down below and I will read it. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this, and next week we are going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette, which has all these beautiful, beautiful shades as always. So I'm pretty excited to use this because it's one of my favorite palettes as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this week and hope everyone is doing good, and until my next video, I will talk to you soon. Bye!